Gatineau Park, there's 2.7 million visits per year, so that's a lot of people coming in the park for their particular activities, leisure, recreation, and that's perfect. But our first mandate is conservation, so we have to make sure that these activities don't harm the environment. It's a nice spring plant. The scientific name is Streptococcus roseus. The flowers are hidden at the bottom, and often people don't see it, but it's like bell-like, and it's part of our one of the nice spring flowers that we have. We have an issue with the wild leek. It's small, and they do a marinade with it. And if you go on my market, you can buy the big pots, and it's just a little bulb. It's white. It's super good, actually. It's really good, but you know, we don't collect it in the park. Some people can collect them on their own land. But the thing is that it takes at least 7 years for a bulb to reproduce, to actually make flowers or to separate and make another bulb. So it takes a long time. If you come every year and you harvest half of your population, the population is going to be gone within a small amount of time. But here we have large populations of wild leek, and it's the same for all the Liliaceae family or other plants. It's the same thing for trillium, for example. So white trillium is also protected here in Quebec. There's a wide network of unofficial trails, and as I said, in the park there's 200 kilometers of trails, and there's about 200 kilometers of unofficial trails as well. So people just want to go everywhere, and they want to be alone, and sometimes they get lost, and then we have to go looking for them. But it's okay. Most of people, when you tell them what to do, they will understand and why it's harmful. Because people that want to enjoy nature, basically they come to enjoy nature. So if you say, oh, but if you do it that way, it would be better because it's less harmful, or you'd have a better impact, or do not grab on trees, or don't put anchors on trees, stay at the base, or things like that, it's helping a lot.
Started rock climbing really in high school, a bit. Didn't know what I was doing, luckily didn't fall off any of it. I'm on the national board of the Alpine Club, and I'm a member of the section in Ottawa. And I've been with the club, I guess, about 25 years now, or close to 25 years. Joined the club and went to Western Canada for mountaineering, mostly, primarily large mountain experiences. And of course, rock climbing is one of the skill sets for climbing big mountains. You need to deal with this. So got connected with the group here in Ottawa and started climbing in Gatineau Park probably 20 years ago. Here every summer. Favorite place. I mean, we hike in here, we snowshoe, we cross-country ski, we cycle, and we climb rock. And so I've been coming here to Homecliff at least 20 years. The club's been climbing here for probably more than 60. It was one of the first spots opened in the area. We used to climb wherever we wanted, We don't anymore. There are about 4 or 5 areas that are open for climbers, like here at Home Cliff.
It's mostly the access trail that they're taking and the places they use to prepare their material, their ropes and carabiners and all anchors. It does a lot of trampling, and then when there's vegetation, it kills vegetation. When there's no vegetation to retain the soil, the roots there's no roots, so the soil just erodes. And since it's really steep slopes, the soil is easy going down. So no soil, no vegetation. There's more than 70 species at risk here, so we want to protect the area they live in. So that's the kind of impact they have.
We used to have, I think, about 22 areas that we climbed in, and we're down to, as I say, I think it's 4 or 5 now. So in terms of area, of rock area, the reduction's been probably about between 80 and 90%. The saving grace is that the areas, at least 2 of the areas that are left open here at Home Cliff and also in Western Coombe, are really popular, and they're also really suitable for beginners and novices. So the idea was to have a range of opportunities that would work for novices and beginners, right up to the most experienced climbers, and it works pretty well. I mean, there isn't a lot of climbing, so many of us tend to go elsewhere. But I mean, elsewhere is 3 or 4 or 5 hours drive, rather than 20 minutes from downtown Ottawa. But there's a good selection of routes. There's just not perhaps as many of them as we'd like.
Since we've closed the area, we also began a dialogue with them and trying to explain why we're doing some closures. But at the same time, we want to engage them, and they participated really well. They brought 100 8-foot white pine logs of this site here to build retaining walls to stop the erosion, to help some trees and stabilize soil, to help some species to recolonize the escarpment. We're lucky to have them help us, and at the same time, if they wouldn't help us, I'm not sure we would do all that. What was recommended by most scientists is just close off the escarpment.
I think the thing is, certainly within the Alpine Club, the group of sort of 800 of us here in the national capital, and some of us are climbers, many are just hikers, have got a really close connection with this park, because this is our place. This is where we spend a huge amount of our time, winter and summer. So we know the park well. We know every nook and cranny of it, and value it very highly. So it's easier for us to come to the whole issue of how to protect it, because it's a fairly precious place. I mean, at the same time as we're giving up things that we love, but it's to also protect a place that we're very, very strongly connected to. So I think we're not casual users of the park. I mean, I'm in this place dozens and dozens of times every year doing one thing or another, as are all of my colleagues in the club. So, we want to take care of it.